Welcome to WT History. In this series, we list all the major events that happened in the world in a year, starting from 1776 to 2024. On February 3rd, Jackson Male Academy opened in Tennessee. While small at first, this institution would eventually grow into Union University, becoming a cornerstone of higher education in the South. On August 4th, the Mexican government authorized Stephen F. Austin to organize an 11-man police force in Coahuila y Tejas, a precursor to the Texas Rangers. On August 9th, the Araucara War broke out between the United States and the Araucara Nation, marking the first U.S. military conflict with the Plains Indians. On August 24th, fur trapper Hugh Glass faced one of the most harrowing survival stories in frontier history. After being mauled by a sow grizzly bear in the Missouri Territory, he was left for dead. Refusing to give up, Glass crawled 200 miles to safety, inspiring tales and even films centuries later. Then, on September 22nd, Joseph Smith claimed a divine experience. According to his later writings, he was led by an angel to a place near Manchester, New York, where golden plates containing ancient religious texts were buried, a key moment in the origin of the Latter-day Saint movement. Finally, on December 2nd, President James Monroe took a bold stand. In his annual State of the Union address, he introduced the Monroe Doctrine, warning European powers that any attempt to recolonize the Americas would be viewed as a threat to U.S. interests. This declaration would come to define American foreign policy for decades. Meanwhile, in British North America, a survey expedition up the St. Clair River identified the site of Corunna as a possible capital for Upper Canada, though it would never claim that title. On January 23rd, in a cave on the Gower Peninsula of Wales, William Buckland examined a prehistoric skeleton he dubbed the Red Lady of Paviland. Though misidentified and misdated, it marked the first formal study of a prehistoric human burial. On February 3rd, Venice hosted the premiere of Gioacchino Rossini's final Italian opera, Semiramide, at the famed La Fenice Theater. A week later, on February 10th, Cologne held the first ever global carnival parade, creating a cultural tradition that continues today. Then, on April 7th, French troops known as the 100,000 Sons of St. Louis crossed into Spain to suppress its liberal revolution and restore King Ferdinand VII. On April 10th, they began the Siege of Pamplona, a months-long battle to control the key Spanish city. Amid these tensions, on April 13th, 11-year-old Franz Liszt dazzled an audience in Vienna with a piano concert, earning personal praise from none other than Ludwig van Beethoven. Back in Russia, on May 7th, Mikhail Vorontsov was appointed Governor-General of Novorossiya, the southern stretch of the empire along the Black Sea, now part of modern Ukraine. Just 2 days later, on May 9th, Russian author Alexander Pushkin began writing his epic verse novel, Eugene Onegin, destined to become a literary masterpiece. On May 23rd, Spanish liberals were forced to abandon Madrid as the French advanced, retreating to Seville. 2 days later, on May 25th, the Duke of Angoulême established a royal regency in Madrid, nominally for Ferdinand VII. That same day in Dublin, Ireland, 13 reformers gathered to form the Catholic Association, igniting a campaign for religious emancipation. Tragedy struck Rome on July 15th, when fire nearly destroyed the Basilica of St. Paul outside the walls. Then, on July 28th, London's Royal Opera House premiered the first stage adaptation of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, titled Presumption. Shelley herself attended a performance on August 29th, the only time she ever saw her novel performed live. On August 5th, the Royal Hibernian Academy was founded in Dublin, promoting the arts in Ireland. Religious transition followed. Pope Pius VII died on August 20th, ending a 23-year reign marked by major events including the crowning of Napoleon. Later that month, on August 31st, French forces captured Fort Trocadero during the Battle of Trocadero, turning its guns on Cadiz in a decisive move. After enduring 5 months, Pamplona surrendered to French forces on September 17th. Days later, on September 28th, Cardinal Annibale della Genga became Pope Leo XII. By September 30th, Cadiz also fell, allowing Ferdinand VII to retake his throne, But instead of reform, he launched the ominous Decade, an era of repression. On October 5th, Surgeon Thomas Wackley founded The Lancet, a medical journal that would shape modern medicine. On November 3rd, tragedy struck in northern England when an explosion at the Plain Pit coal mine in Chiltern Moor killed at least 57 miners. On November 7th, Liberal leader General Rafael del Riego was executed for high treason in Madrid, a martyr for Spanish constitutionalism. And in a lighter footnote to history, sometime that November, English schoolboy William Webb Ellis reportedly invented rugby football by picking up the ball during a soccer match. Elsewhere in the sciences, Heinrich Wilhelm Olbers posed his famous paradox, asking why, if the universe is infinite, the night sky is dark, a question that would challenge astronomers for generations. Also that year, construction began on the British Museum in London and the Altus Museum in Berlin. Meanwhile, at Oxford, students founded the Oxford Union, a debating society that continues to thrive. Half a world away in Australia, February 15th saw the first officially recorded gold discovery at Fish River, New South Wales. On February 20th, explorer James Weddell pushed farther south than any ship before, reaching latitude 74 degrees 15 minutes south near Antarctica. But exploration also had its errors. On March 15th, sailor Benjamin Morrell incorrectly reported a new landmass called New South Greenland, a phantom island that never existed. Back in the Americas, March 19th saw the abdication of Emperor Agustin de Iturbide, ending Mexico's short-lived First Empire and paving the way for its republic. In Brazil, May 5th marked the opening of the First National Congress by Emperor Pedro I, with 50 senators and over 100 deputies, beginning Brazil's constitutional monarchy. On June 5th, in Southeast Asia, Raffles Institution, now one of Singapore's most prestigious schools, was founded by Sir Stamford Raffles. In Central America, July 1st marked a powerful declaration. The Congress of Central America announced absolute independence from Spain, Mexico, and all foreign powers, establishing a republican system of government. On August 1st, William Pitt Amherst arrived in Calcutta with his wife, assuming the position of Governor-General of India. On August 18th, the Demerara Rebellion erupted in British Guiana. 10,000 black slaves rose up in resistance. Though the rebellion was crushed in just 3 days, hundreds were executed in brutal retaliation. In South America, September 10th saw revolutionary hero Simón Bolívar named President of Peru, further cementing his role in the continent's independence. On September 23rd, Burmese forces attacked British positions on Shapura, an island close to Chittagong, sparking the First Anglo-Burmese War. And on October 22nd, Bolívar issued a stern demand to Paraguayan dictator José Gaspar Rodríguez de Francia, release explorer Aimé Bonpland, or face invasion. Francia never responded. And finally, sometime that year, hostilities began in West Africa, with the First Anglo-Ashanti War marking another chapter in Britain's colonial conflicts. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and join us next time as we continue our journey through history, one year at a time.